Hello Game Boys and Game Girls, I'm the Game Boy Guru and welcome to another live stream. So first, let me preface this by saying I apologize for not being online the last couple of days. I was fully planning on having a Final Gradius 3 stream on Friday the 31st, and the day got away from me. I had some stuff that came up that I needed to take care of, so I basically didn't get the chance to do that. I didn't even get home until after midnight. And then Saturday, I was planning on streaming, which would have been yesterday. I was planning on streaming both Lolo 3 and Ghostblade, but I had some stuff I had to take care of, and again, the day got away from me. And today, I had stuff to take care of, and did not get online nearly as early as I was hoping. But I'm here now, and it is June, so I will be streaming Ghostblade. Now I'm going to be working on both the Dreamcast and the HD version, which I have on the PlayStation 4. But I'm going to start with the Dreamcast version because that was where it originated, and I'll be playing that for a few days. And then, depending on how that goes, I'll probably move on to the HD version so I can showcase that and the arranged soundtrack for it. But let's jump in and have a look at Ghostblade. Hey Drake. Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's been a busy weekend. But yes, I did get some things accomplished, and hopefully can stay caught up for a bit. I won't be on tomorrow, though, because I've got a work thing, unfortunately. Alright, so I'm going to go with the default pilot and ship to start with, and we will go ahead and play on normal. I've already played this a little bit. I'm currently running my Dreamcast. I've got a VGA cable that I purchased, and I'm running that through the OSSC, and I gotta say, this looks pretty good. I'm quite impressed, actually, with how clean this looks. So I'm looking forward to playing some other Dreamcast games in glorious VGA for a real clean 480p signal. But yeah, this just looks stunning compared to what composite output looked like. Like, as I hooked this thing up the other day just to check out Ghostblade and, you know, test my copy. I hadn't played it yet. Make sure it was working and everything. I hooked it up via composite and then pumped that through the RetroTink just to, you know, check it out. And man, it was noisy and it looked kind of bad. I was a little afraid that I wasn't going to be able to make this look good for the stream, but thankfully I was able to get that VGA cable in just a couple of days. Thank you, Amazon, and made that work. Hey, Vic. Yeah, I'm seeing some very specific cave DNA in this. It's nowhere near as difficult as Dodonpachi, though. Hey, Addicted. I found that I've been able to do pretty well in this game pretty quickly. It didn't take me that long to kind of get acclimated. So, pretty cool. And the scores are ridiculous in this game. It reminds me of Crimson Clover in that sense. That scores are wildly inflated. Seasons on Mars. I could probably milk a few more stars by waiting until that guy is shooting even more stuff on screen. Those towers, I should say. Woo! A little bit of a tight spot there. And of course I am playing with the default ship, which is easy mode in some ways because of its wide fire range for its normal cannon. Ha! Going back to Gradius 3. I did not beat Gradius 3, no. Oh, unfortunately, I did not make it. That last stream from last Thursday was the last opportunity I had to play it, so... Yeah, unfortunately I did not get a chance to play it since then, so... I do want to try to, you know, take it down at some point. I just... Probably not going to be anytime relatively soon. Although I probably should go back to it while I still have some degree of muscle memory. I would love to say that I beat Gradius 3 on Super NES, but unfortunately my only conquest was beginner mode on the easiest difficulty. Oh well, you can't win them all. Oh yeah, if I beat it eventually, definitely. I mean, it'd be something that I'd like to either capture on stream or just capture. So I have proof that I did it. Huh. True, I could still play it as an alternate, yeah. Oh! I let him clip me. Thought I was going to get through that gap between the pink bullets, but I did not. Ah, nice. Avoiding the option hunter, yeah. If I beat the SNES, stand a much better chance of beating the arcade version. Yeah, I would say that's probably true, Vic. I mean, they're different enough that the Super NES version, in a lot of ways, feels like a lot like what you would consider in today's more modern shoot 'em ups, like an arrange mode. You know what I mean? It feels like Gradius 3 arrange mode. Whoops. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. The one of the gripes I have with this game is, at least in this version, is continuing is almost automatic, because if you're pressing the button at all, it's going to, like, if you're holding the button down to fire and you die, it registers that as a button press, so it's going to have you continue whether you intended to or not. So it's kind of annoying on the Dreamcast version. I'm hoping the HD version fixes that. Yo! Alright. No. Thanks for playing. See you next round. Yeah, it is dumbed down to a certain degree, but it's a lot more fair in the sense that there's just less to deal with. All right, well, that was my best single credit score so far. I love how on the I don't know if you guys will be able to see this in the webcam, but it shows the shows TGB, the Ghost Blade, or Ghost Blade there in VMU. Pretty sweet. All right. One of the interesting things about this is this is the more recent physical reissue of this game that came out via Josh Prod, and that was through Play Asia. And I don't have the case here to show off because I forgot to grab it before I started the stream, but of course it's got different artwork for the different, you know, the front cover artwork is basically the different pilots. And anyway, one of the interesting things is that the game, when you boot it up, it has it mentions Play Asia and has like their logo and some information about them. Oh, I weaved through that. Whoops. That was not so good. And so anyway, it's interesting that since they sponsored this reprint, you know, their information's all over it. So there's kind of a slightly different intro to the attract mode, which I thought was kind of unique. I have tried Radiant Silvergun, actually. I downloaded the Xbox 360 digital release here just a couple of weeks ago, and holy cow, that is a hard game. It's kind of ridiculous. It's a lot to juggle with the different weapons and, you know, how to use them situationally. It'll take a while to acclimate to just how much there is to do in that game and when it's appropriate to do one or the other. But I love the sword and being able to power that up and then do the big mega sword maneuver. That is killer. Definitely makes it the pain of dying all the time a little less annoying, I guess. Yeah, I remember back when it was still kind of newish, and everybody was saying that it was, you know, the best shoot 'em up of all time, basically. Even back in the late 90s, when it was still relatively new. I think opinions have cooled on it slightly over the years, in part because everybody also fell in love with Ikaruga, and that game is much simpler by comparison. It's a lot more approachable. Even if, under the surface, it's also quite difficult to master. Whoa! I think I missed the boat on that one. like how when you destroy some of these ships, they don't just explode and, you know, into nothingness. You actually see pieces of debris fly off. That's a nice touch. Ah, Ikaruga Steam. I don't have the Steam version. I bought the GameCube version back in the day, and I've had that for years. I haven't picked up the Switch version yet because I was kind of hoping that somebody would see fit to do a physical release of that. And so, anyway, I just haven't gone down that road yet. Hopefully at some point my wish will be granted. Woohoo! Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, see, and I need to read up on that, Vic, the leveling system in Radiant Silvergun. I was just messing around with it on Xbox 360, like I said, a couple of weekends ago. And of course, since the stock 360 pad is D-pad is terrible, I've been using this bad boy. I got a really good deal on this, and it's not a fantastic stick, but it's okay. This is what I've played a lot of Raiden 4 with, but hopefully this will show up on the webcam. That note that was written on there, $6 as is. Picked that up at Goodwill. It's been about 4 or 5 years ago, but somebody donated this, and I have no idea why, but I got this for $6 at Goodwill. So, one of the best finds ever, I think, in my collection. Those arrows are annoying. Both the little targeted ones and the big arrows made of all the little bullets. They really target you and they're pretty unforgiving. The slowdown is real here, that's for sure. Oh, excuse me. Whoa! I completely did not see what took me out there. Aye, now that I saw. Got a little busy. Whoa! Shoot, that was not what I was hoping for. Boy, 3 lives in pretty quick succession there. See you next round. Game's pretty optimistic. The bullet hitbox is too big. You think so? Oh, meaning the hitboxes of the bullets. Yeah. Well, it's not like a cave game or like Crimson Clover where, you know, the bullets have different sizes of hitboxes and some of them are dead center and, you know, small. I mean, to me, the bullet count and amount in this game is a lot less than other bullet hell games, other Danmaku. So, to me, it seems like it's a reasonable trade-off. And I do like the fact that the hitbox of your ship is clearly defined and easy to see. So, I love the space disco balls here at the beginning. Huh. It's like, are those disco balls, or is that, did the aliens come to Earth and see Epcot Center and go, hey, we can make that? And those of you who are in my age bracket are probably thinking, oh yeah, Epcot Center. Also find the bullet speed in this game so far to be quite manageable. Hey, there's a one-up. There are moments like this where, you know, this roadway or whatever beneath me is kind of pink, and those guys shoot out little pink bullets, and it's a little bit hard to make out. Aye. Well, that was my own fault. I got caught in that. So there are moments like that where it's a little bit hard to kind of see what you're supposed to be watching for. But on the whole, especially with the VGA, I find this is pretty clean. Really? Ikaruga in the arcade near you. That's cool. Oh, I missed that. Yo. One thing about this game, the power-ups are plentiful. As long as you're taking stuff out, it gets really pretty easy to power up your primary weapon pretty quickly. Yeah, the Ghostblade HD physical release was a PlayAsia exclusive for the PS4. I wish I would have got in on the special edition or limited edition of that, but either I don't remember when it was that it came out, but it may have been before I had a PS4, and I either didn't know about it or didn't have the cash for it at the time. I don't remember now, but. Oh, the Josh Prod release isn't a PlayAsia exclusive. Well, that's weird then, because, like I said, their logo and information is in the intro on this one. So maybe it's just this pressing was specific to PlayAsia. Who knows? Or maybe it was a promotional thing that they did together. Yeah, it is coming to the Switch soon. Although I wonder when that's happening. I feel like maybe we timed this poorly. But then I guess, when we put it on the schedule, we didn't know if and when the Switch version, well, we knew that the Switch version was forthcoming, but not when it was forthcoming or when it was supposed to be out. I think at that time, it literally just said 2019. So it was kind of a crapshoot, really, for determining when it was supposed to be out. Let myself get backed into the corner. A little dense there. Pretty much, yeah. Whoa! Yeah, I mean, it's... Unless you know the release schedule of everything coming up, it's kind of impossible to predict when stuff is going to be re-released on various platforms, etc. Yes, Gradius Day was a happy coincidence, as was the information about the SA1 ROM hack and upgrade coming out, because that was all developing during that time. So that was a happy accident, and something I'm glad that we'll be able to talk about on the podcast. Oh, that was poorly executed. Oh, I shouldn't have let myself get caught there. Ah! What was that? That dude clipped me pretty seriously there. Ooh. Wait, did I continue? I must have continued by accident. Shoot, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be... Still doing reorders on Ghostblade HD PS4. Nice! Yeah, things will arbitrarily become relevant again later. It's a good point. Yeah, see, that's so weird. I probably had a high score on that first credit, but since just holding down the button keeps it going, I just continued arbitrarily, and I didn't even intend to. All right. Ghost installed. Yeah, it's 640 by 480. I'm not, well, upscaling, sort of. Basically what I've done is I've got a 640 by 480 window in OBS. And actually, the OSSC, which I'm running this through, will put out 480p video, which is what it's doing because that's what my TV reports. But the way that I'm doing it... Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Yeah, and then OBS has a has the window in there, and then I've just basically resized the window to make it bigger. So in a way it's upscaling it, but really it's just stretching the size of it and keeping the aspect ratio. But OBS is pretty good about keeping that clean so that it doesn't look, you know, all functified when you blow it up. It means it does a pretty good job of maintaining the aspect ratio and keeping the pixel size consistent. Other seller of Ghostblade, European shop. Oh yeah, Pixel Heart. I've seen that. Yeah, pixel doubling I think is probably some of how that's done. So, anyway. Now, if I was getting a 240p signal out of this instead of a 480p, because I think this game through VGA is 480 natively. But if it was a 240p signal, like what I get out of a Sega Genesis, for example, or my XI through the SCART cable, when I was streaming Lightning Force and Thunder Force 4 back in January, that was 240p. Well, Lightning Force, I should say, was 240p. Through the JVC XI, and so I just did a 5x multiplier on the OSSC to naturally line double that to 1080p. Hey Brandon, how did Ghostblade HD go? I popped in for a minute and looked at your stream and subbed to your channel real quick as I was kind of setting up for this stream. It does look very nice. I noticed on the OBS window that it looks really clean. And it looks great on my TV too. I mean, it's just stunning. This 1080p set that I'm using really handles 480p quite nicely. I've noticed. Especially when the signal is as quality as this. Oh! I was going for that one up and ended up losing a life in the process. Oh. Well, I'll have to remember not to do that again. Whoa. Got a little busy there. And bigging it to 1080. Nice. You've got it up on your 1080 set. That's cool. I'm glad it looks... I'm glad it looks good on a set that big. Of course, the stream itself is 1080. So it should scale nicely. For that. $1 billion on normal, almost getting a 1cc on easy, and 500 million on hard. Nice. I watched for just a brief moment there, and I noticed that I don't know what difficulty you were playing on at the moment that I popped in, but I did notice that there were more bullets coming from the boss than do in the Dreamcast version, so there must have been some changes made. Whoops, that was a silly mistake. There must have been some changes made in the Dreamcast version or in the HD version in that regard. Whoa! I misjudged that. Yeah, I know they've been teasing Josh Prod has been teasing a new Saturn game, and my question is it a new Saturn game, or is it something that they are either porting, like they've done with a number of games already, porting them to the Dreamcast, or is it legit a new game? I guess that's what I'm curious about. So I'll be interested to see how that comes out. Ah. Well, that was not smart. New 2D fighter. Okay. Huh. Interesting. So I wonder what that's going to be like. Or how many characters will be in it, and what's the theme or the overall, look and feel of it going to be like. Oh yeah, Captain Tomade. That'd be pretty cool. See right there, 2 power-ups in quick succession. That got a little busier than I was expecting. I didn't take that guy out as quickly as I should have. And Captain Tomade is going to be out on the Switch, right? Or is that going to the Dreamcast? I can't remember. Ah, okay, Tomade for DC. Gotcha. Couldn't remember. I know you mentioned it at one point, but there's so much stuff coming out, it's hard to keep track sometimes. There's my extend. Without losing a life this time, thankfully. Oh, those stupid pink bullets that accompany the green. Ah! When I first encountered those dudes, those things were really a pain. Oh, I ran into the pink one again. Man, that's annoying. Oh yeah, Ultra Core. That looks pretty good. I should probably try and snag a copy of that. It's kind of like, what was that game that was coming out on Genesis and Neo Geo and all sorts of platforms? Like a Smash TV style game. Now I can't even remember what it was called, and it just released, or it just the Kickstarter or pre-order or whatever for it was just a couple of months ago. I wonder if Tate mode on Wii U would allow you to play it on the gamepad that way. That would be interesting and fun to play with. I would be interested to know if that is at all the case. Boy, the weak spot on this guy is a little specific. Xenocrisis, thank you, Brandon. Gee whiz, I couldn't remember what that was. Yeah, Xenocrisis. Good grief. Because Pondering Ghost was talking about it a bunch. But I never did get that one pre-ordered, so I'm going to have to try and see about maybe snagging a copy of that at some point. Hopefully it has done well enough that I'll be able to do that. Ah! You turd. Oops. Oh, I should have bombed. You know, I'm not sure, Brandon. I heard that was... I mean, I read about that. About the point blanking stuff. I just don't know if it was in the original game or not. Oh, no, I didn't want to continue. Crap. That's annoying. Just let me die. With dignity. Yeah, I don't know if that's in this version or if that's only in the HD version. Yes! Tate mode on Wii U. That almost makes me want to go back and buy a copy on Wii U digitally just to play around with that. Because I don't really have a good way to do Tate with this. Either this version or the PS4. I don't think this Dell monitor that I've got here has... I'm pretty sure it doesn't have... Oh, it does have HDMI. It does have HDMI. Oh, the wheels are turning. Oh, crap. My VMU came out when my controller dropped. Cool. This monitor does have HDMI. You know what I could do? Oh, the wheels are turning now. Because the HDMI splitter that I'm using to bypass HDCP for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and other things, it's a splitter, so it has two outputs. One of them is going to the capture card, so technically I could pump the other one to this monitor, and I could play this in Tate. Oh. And then I could work with the image in that, because I think if I look at options here, oh, it does do Tate. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, that is very, 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 very attractive. I might have to do that. Yeah, Dreamcast and Tate. And this is a nice, large monitor. So, since it's only about 4 feet in front of me, the picture size is going to be real similar to what I'm seeing on my 55-inch TV up here that is about 8-9 feet in front of me. So that's... oh, I might have to play with that a little bit. Since I'm not streaming tomorrow because I have a work thing, maybe when I get home from work tomorrow, I'll hook an HDMI cable up from that splitter up to this monitor and play around with Tate mode for a few minutes and see how that fares. Oh, that could be really cool. Yeah, that could be really cool. I'll need to grab another HDMI cable, but I'm sure I can scare one up somewhere. Oh. Now I'm just brimming with possibilities because I don't know what the latency is on this monitor, but that means I ought to be able to do Tate mode for almost anything because everything coming out of my my OSSC, my RetroTink, etc. It's all coming through a 4-way HDMI switch box, and then that goes into that splitter before it goes to the capture card. So I had to be able to pump that directly into this monitor that's in front of me. Oh, this is sounding really cool. I had forgotten that this had HDMI input on it. Now I'm really, the wheels are turning. I'm gonna have to give this a try. Before my next stream. And tomorrow evening, when I'm getting home late from work and need a little downtime, would be a good time to give that a try. Whoops. Misjudged the distance on that. Whoops. That was not what I was intending. Nor was that. Hey, sir. How's it going? Ha. Now that's kind of cool. If the creator likes the arranged soundtrack better than the original, I'd say that's a pretty good endorsement, right? I mean, the originals are alright. I kind of dig the sound, but I don't know. They're a little bit nondescript. But they're pleasant enough. I haven't once CC'd it yet. I'm not playing as good on stream now as I was here a few days ago, and I was just messing around with it. Yeah, who was the guy that did those arranged tracks for Ghostblade HD? Ah, that was dumb. Completely biffed that. That was a needless death. There's no reason I should have done that. Huh? I need to break out the Wii U. Drake was just saying that the Wii U version, according to a review that he was reading, apparently supports Tate mode on the gamepad, which is awesome. Pixel Junk Eden. Huh. I don't think I've played that. Pretty sure I haven't. I have Pixel Junk Monsters on the PSP. That's kind of fun. I was going to pre-order Pixel Junk Monsters 2 when the physical was announced for Switch, but I was prioritizing shmups and other things and did not have the cash for it. So sadly, I missed out. Why did I do that? That was dumb. I flew right into it. Oops. I was going to bomb, but didn't quite pull it off in time. The bomb button, unfortunately, being Y, is a little bit inconvenient. I should see if I can remap it to B. That would make more sense. Yeah. Two-player wouldn't work so well in Tate mode on Wii U. Yep. Not if you're playing it on the tablet. Right. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. The monitor that I've got my OBS set up on right now is rotated because that's what I was using to do Crimson Clover on. So I still have it set up that way, which means that I could very easily go right into using it for Tate Shmups. Like I said, I don't know what the latency is on this bad boy, but when I was playing Crimson Clover, it seemed good. So crap. Hey, Dingo! You'd flip your laptop on its side? Nice. That's hardcore. Hey, Duke Togo? Yeah. I know you're not a big fan of bullet hell games, Duke, but this one might actually, you might actually get along with it a little better, because it's a lot more forgiving than most of them. Nice. I never tried doing that with with a laptop for a game, but I could see doing that with MAME, flipping a laptop on its side if you had a gamepad or a stick. Yeah. Oh yeah? You're not a big fan of bullet hell games either, Drake? Oh yeah, Code Vein. I forgot about that. I knew that was coming out, but it was announced so many months ago. That I kind of lost track of its development. Oh yeah, Crimson Clover was great. Ah, crap. One of those tiny little green bullets got me. I didn't kill that butthead before he... in time enough to clear those away before it sniped me. Releasing later in the year, huh? Initially, there was rumor that Code Vein was maybe going to get a Switch release, but I think at this point, if... I mistimed that. Shoot! If it does, it'll probably be later. So, boy, I kind of botched that first stage. Yeah, they'd have to be toned down for Switch. Yeah, I've noticed that, Dingo, in some spots here, especially here in level 2, as you'll see, there's some spots where the backgrounds are kind of pinkish, purplish, and the small purpley bullets from those little tanks blend in quite a bit with the background. There's an area where there's like a roadway or a bridge or something, and it's kind of pinkish, and it's a little hard to distinguish. So it makes it tougher to kind of see what's going on. The extend rate, though, in this game is pretty forgiving overall. Which is kind of nice. Makes it a bit more approachable than... Hey, I got too close. Yeah, see, like right here, this pink roadway, those bullets blend in a little bit more than they ought to. So you really gotta watch pretty closely. The stars come to you automatically when you shoot ground or air enemies, and then ground-based enemies. Once your ship gets within a fairly close proximity of their position on the ground, they'll kind of come to your ship, but it's not it's not as quite as automatic. Yeah, see, like there, I got pretty close, but... And I think it depends on what kind of stars they are, too. I don't know. It's different than Crimson Clover, though, where... I mean, it's similar, but it's not quite the same. gray gumdrops. Yeah, I consider the ship that has the narrow fire only to be hard mode. Holy cow. Since you can't cast a wide berth with that, it's a lot more difficult to you know, catch everything on screen quickly, so you end up dealing with a lot more bullet spam. Well, that was a lot easier to deal with there. Lining those guys up and doing the focus fire. Got busy. I missed a couple. Oh snap, I've got 3 lives. Ah! Crap, I couldn't get into position. Well, thankfully for playing the PS4 version, I've got the Hori Fight Pad, which has a much better D-pad than the stock PS4 controller. Yeah, the music sounds very 90s. Yeah, you're right. Agreed, Dingo. The quick deaths of the bosses are a hair anticlimactic. And also a bit jarring, if, really. It's weird. kind of like the track in this level. The slightly more ethereal sound to it, combined with that real high energy electronic. Kind of like that contrast. But I'm looking forward to crap, I let him get me, digging into the arranged soundtrack in the HD version. Man, those guys do not mess around. They put out a lot of bullets. Oh! I think one of those green bullets just took me out. Yeah, very high scoring game. Sakura in Space. Yeah, Dingo, it's like, okay, I'm done with the boss, move on. No pomp and circumstance or any kind of fanfare. It's just move on. That's one of the things I like about Rolling Gunner is I'm terrible at it, but the presentation in that game is phenomenal. Point inflation. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that. One thing I do like about this that I've noticed is that there are some enemies that are in every stage, but every stage also has some unique enemies. So I kind of like that. That you know, they're, from a design standpoint, they are doing that at least. So that's kind of neat. But some of the designs in this game are very Dodonpachi or Donpachi-esque. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Duke. Yeah, newer machines you get millions. I noticed that when I was at the arcade here a couple months ago. Um, and what was I playing? Might have been Guardians of the Galaxy pinball. But anyway, you know, I'm not great at pinball, and so I was probably playing for all of 3 minutes. And I had several billion points. And of course I had looked at the deal that told you kind of how to score in the game, and so I was trying to do that. Not that it's real easy to do that, but you know, I was at least attempting to kind of score however I could manage to. But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how high the scores go in such a short time. But you're right, people like bigger scores, so it does kind of incentivize you to keep playing, because you're thinking, wow, I got 8 billion points in, you know, 3 minutes of playing. You know, either I did the right thing or I'm just really good at this, or I don't know. That must be the mindset they're trying to, to tap into. Crap. I kind of set up that domino effect there. Yeah. Oh! Jeez. Yeah, I did kind of walk into that, didn't I? Ooh, that was almost a bad situation there for a hot second. Yeah, I think the combo multiplier is the key to scoring. Oh, the gray gumdrops? Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out myself, Duke. I don't know if maybe that has something to do with filling up the bomb meter down below. Because there are no bomb pickups that I've found. But, because it's just the weapon and missile pickups. And so I'm wondering if maybe it's slowly filling up my bomb meter. Ah! That was dumb. see, lives remaining. Max combo gives you a bonus. Tech orbs. Whatever that means. Okay, so that is bomb extends, yep. That's what I thought. Boy, it takes forever to fill up that bomb meter. Yo, that was lame. Oh, that was even lamer. No! Oh, I was just kind of not doing myself any favors there. Rockman and Forte. Nice! Very nice. That'll be a cool one. So you're gonna do an Import Heaven episode on that? Because that'll be pretty sweet. Too much visual information? Yeah. I used to think that. But when I was playing Crimson Clover a couple of months ago, I found that realistically, awesome. That's cool. I'll be watching for that video. Now, realistically, like with any shoot 'em up, the key is to watch your ship more so than what else is out there on the screen. And you kind of need to look and glance sometimes so you can see enemy placement and things like that. Kind of get an idea of incoming bullet patterns and stuff like that. But realistically, you want to pay attention more to your ship and your immediate surroundings than anything else. I'm not doing a very good job of that. I just realized as I'm playing this. But yeah, that's part of it. Don't try to process as much as you can. Just stick to, a small window of that. Everything else is noise. So that helps. Let's see. It's almost 10:30. I might give this one more run here. And then we'll probably call it a night. I know I got started kind of late, but ship selection screen count as attract mode. Ah! Now, Drake, are you trying to say that that's attractive mode? Is that the insinuation I'm getting? Oh, Sarah, somebody asked earlier in chat if you get more stars when you point blank or get closer to enemies. And I know I read something about that, but is that a thing in all versions of the game or just the newer one? Yeah, I hear you, Drake. I understand. Yeah, easy, normal, and hard on the difficulty. Yeah, I noticed in this version it's literally just novice and normal. I wasn't sure if there was a way to unlock a hard mode in this after beating it or something. But I thought that was a little odd that it's literally just novice and normal. Good question, Duke Togo. I don't know if bombing adversely affects your score. I do know it's screen clearing. But when I bombed earlier, there was a whole bunch of stars. So it's probably not quite as bad as some cave games where bombing is a terrible idea from a scoring perspective. So, it's a good question. I guess I'd have to build some consistency in a stage 1 run and then try to play and just bomb a whole bunch of times in stage 1 and or, you know, bomb as much as I can in areas where there are either lots of enemies or big enemies, something like that, and see if my score tanks. Would be a neat experiment, I guess. Oh, gotta make sure I get that extend. Hey Zordo, how's it going? Welcome. Oh, that could be. Dingo. It might have an effect on your end stage bonus. Yes, Duke Togo. It is a little confusing, and so it's a learning curve with that. I've noticed that the small round pink bullets do not convert ever. most of the bigger ones do, but it's only from the larger enemies. And it's not all of the larger enemies I've noticed, it's just kind of some of them. Wow! Jeez, look at my score already. Oh, you can't remap the controls? I didn't look in the options menu. I was gonna try and remap the bomb button, but I did not go and seek that out. But if you can't do it in HD, I would imagine they probably don't have it in this version either. Ah! Well, that was idiocy. Oh, you can't use the triggers. Ah! Crap. Crap! Kinda getting rained on here. Oh, yuck. The occasional slowdown is on the console, Duke. So you can't remap the other keys on the PC version. That's unfortunate. Oh, that was a bad break. Ah, and that was just stupid. I saw that coming and I didn't avoid it. Oh. Oh, jeez. What the? Oh my gosh. Square for rapid, triangle for focus, and circle for bomb. That works. Well, shoot. I think that's the furthest I've reached, and definitely my high score by a pretty decent margin. Nice. Oh, man. So what is that? 795 billion? I'd be curious to know. I'll have to look and see what some of the highest scores in this game are. One assumes if you figure out the nuances in scoring in this, there's kind of like with Crimson Clover, you can really go nuts. I'll crack 1 trillion in no time. Well, you know, if I keep playing like that and I get into stage 5, I just might. Oh yeah, 795 million, you're right. I was miscounting that. Okay, so it goes up to 9 billion something. Okay, so maybe I'll hit 1 billion soon. 1 billion points. That was a terrible Dr. Evil. I used to be able to do that better. Oh well. But yeah, I'm gonna have to try and output from my HDMI splitter to this monitor here, and and try to check this out in Tate mode, and then figure out the you know, getting that flipped in OBS so you guys can see it properly, vertically oriented. Yeah, that's interesting, Vic, because I remember the first time I played GigaWing was in an arcade, and this has probably been, gosh, 15 years ago. Oh, nice. Okay, so bombing doesn't kill combo, which means bombs away. But yeah, I first played GigaWing in an arcade. This has probably been 15 years ago, maybe even longer. Probably longer than that. And the two things I noticed were that I had no idea what I was doing because I had only read about the reflect mechanism. I didn't really understand it. So I quickly ran out of quarters. But also, even though I was playing like hot garbage because I didn't understand the game, I also noticed that the score was insane. You know, I was getting however many billion points just by taking out a few popcorn enemies and using the reflect a couple of times. So, yeah, point inflation. That's a good term. That's a good term, point inflation. So, anyway, what do you think? Do you think point inflation's a good thing in shoot 'em ups? You don't care, do ya? Alrighty, well that's where I'm going to leave it tonight, because it's 10:45. So thanks guys for watching and chatting and hanging out. Appreciate it. As I mentioned earlier, I will not be on tomorrow because I have a work thing, which will probably keep me late. Inflation adjusted scores, yeah, nice. So unless that finishes early, and I feel like I can get on, but what I might end up doing is messing around with Tate mode tomorrow night, see if I can make that work on this monitor, and then if I can, then I might try to change my OBS setup a little bit so that I can have OBS on the TV, the game running on the monitor, and then see about having that in full Tate. That would be pretty sweet. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and game on.